Hello and welcome to my home. Thank you for inviting me as a guest into your home. I've written a book and it's an Old Testament epic novel. It's called Gideon, The Sound and the Glory. This is the front cover. So you can get an idea of what we're looking at here. See, that's Gideon coming out of the dark and the fog of the ages. He's got a lamp in his hand, and I don't know if you could see it. He's got a axe, because he was known as an axeman, and he's got a shofar horn. And in the corner, if you can make it out, there's a broken pitcher. And in his hand, there's a lamp. And behind him, I don't know if you can see it, there's 300 little lights, and that's his army. And he goes out there at midnight. It's an exciting story. And I'm giving you parts of it, different parts of the story to entertain you and hopefully that you'll be interested in getting the rest of the story, like they say, and the rest of the story. Gideon had 300 men. Oh, okay. I'm on the wrong. I wanted to tell you a story about the cave of Machpelah and the lame and the blind, and the deaf and the dumb. Abraham, his wife Sarah, had just passed away. And Father Abraham needed a place to bury her. And he's in Canaan. And he comes and he has a vision. And in this vision, he sees Father Adam and Mother Eve laying on a pallet, like they're asleep in a cave, like if they were alive. And he believed that this cave, this place, was the gateway to heaven. And he finds the place. He comes upon the vision in real life, in real time, and he wants to buy this. He wants this cave, and he finds out who owns it, and it's owned by the sons of Heth, or Heth, Heath, who are the sons of Canaan, who are the sons of Ham, who is the sons of Noah, who is the son of Methuselah. Here's a little genealogy. And he makes a deal with Heth, and he says, my wife is dead, and I want this cave to bury her. And Heth, the sons of Heth says, well, it's just a cave out in the middle of nowhere, so you can have the cave. And he said, no, I want to buy the cave. I want to purchase that cave. Even back then, real estate was properly done with paperwork, just like today. Solomon said, there's nothing new under the sun. So he negotiated with the sons of Heth for 400 pieces of silver to own the cave. Great. Okay, he's got the cave, he's got paperwork, he's all ready to go. But you know what happens in real estate a lot of the times, just like today? There's a cloud on the deed. There's another entity, there's another group that claim possession of that piece of land that's in their boundaries. So I don't know, Heth might have pulled a quickie, but it was the Jebusites. And they told Abraham, no, this is our cave. It doesn't belong to the sons of Heth. And he says, yeah, but I have my wife and was going to bury her and I paid the 400. They said, well, they see Abraham as his posterity someday will be a great nation. So they turn around to Abraham and said, we'll relinquish our claim to the cave if you give us your oath that your posterity will not conquer Jebus, which is their home, their city, and their citadel. Jebus is also known as Jerusalem. That's what it was known before it was Jerusalem. Jebus. They were the governors. So Abraham he's got a wife that's wasting away and he needs to he agrees. He gives him the oath that will be the case, that his posterity will not conquer Jebus by force of arms. Well, as time rolls on, Abraham dies. Then Isaac is buried in the cave. And Rebekah, his wife, and Leah, Jacob's first wife, dies, is in the cave. And finally, Jacob dies. And he goes into the cave. This is another little part of the story. But right now, Jacob goes into the cave. But they know with Jacob gone, Isaac gone, and Abraham gone, there's no one left alive to confirm Abraham's oath. So they build a brazen idol. And on this brazen idol, made of brass, it's a big brass idol, they engrave Abraham's oath on this idol. So this way, they put it in Jerusalem, in Jabus, so this way everyone knows that Abraham had given his oath that the Hebrews will not conquer this city by force of arms. And that they have that. They have his oath in a solid format for all to see. And on this idol, there's two figures, two men, with their mouths perpetually open, as if reciting the oath. One is lame and one is blind. So who is lame and blind? Okay. Jacob, after wrestling the angel, limped forever on his hip. He was lame. And Isaac, who couldn't tell Jacob from Esau, his two sons, at an arm's length, was blind. So it was a depiction of Jacob and a depiction of Isaac on that, and forever reciting Abraham's oath. Now time goes forward, and of course now Israel is becoming a very powerful nation, or the Hebrews have become a powerful nation. David is king of Hebron, king of the Jews, Judah. And he becomes, through some political intrigue and the death and an assassination, becomes king of Israel. David becomes king of Israel and king of the Jews. And he says he doesn't want his capital in Gibeah, where Saul, the Benjaminites, were. He wanted his capital in the Judean area, which was Jerusalem. So he takes his army and he goes to the walls of Jerusalem, and he says, I need this place for my capital. So the governors of Jabus had let in, had quarters in the city of the tribe of Benjamin, and the tribe of Judah had quarters in the city already. They were open. It was an open city in that, but they were the governors. It was their city, and they weren't going to release it. And they told David and his men, you cannot come in unless you destroy the blind and the lame. Because I looked for this, like, what did that mean? Most folks have never gotten that put together. It was either that they were blind and lame, that even their blind and lame could conquer David's forces, or David's forces were blind and lame and could never conquer Jabus. And what they meant was that unless you destroyed that statue, that idol, Abraham's oath, unless you broke Abraham's oath, you cannot come in, you cannot take Jabus. And David says, whoever goes in and destroys the blind and the lame will be my chief captain. Because Joab, his nephew, his sister Zurah's middle child, always had designs on being chief captain. That was his goal in life. He goes in, probably with some men, down the gutter, which means it was the cisterns in Jerusalem. And he goes down and comes up a well somewhere. And they destroy the idol. They destroy that brazen idol to nothing. There's none. So that's why. And then once that happened, there was no, in their minds, the destruction of that idol was the breaking of the oath. And David said, that's why David's heart was sorrowful after they destroyed the blind and the lame, because he had to break Abraham's oath in order to take Jerusalem. A little codicil, when Jacob was being buried, there was a fight. Esau, his brother, was still alive, old now, but he was still alive. And he wanted to be buried. There's one slot left. I'm sure some people have that in their families. They have burial plots. There's one left, and that battle. Who's going to get that? Who's going to get that lot? So he brings his men, and they're warlike. Esau's always been a warrior, and his men are warriors. And they come down there and they start a trouble. They won't let them bury Jacob initially, and there's a big fight. And Dan, one of Jacob's brothers, says, no, this isn't going to be this isn't going to be. You're going to have to let the sons of Jacob. So it would be one of the sons of Jacob is Dan, and he's there. And so it's his uncle Esau, and he says, "No, we have paperwork saying that you gave up your right, and let me see it." And he said, "Well, we have it. It's in Egypt." And so he sends one of his son, somebody. He goes down, or he goes down. I believe he goes down. No, Ephraim. He sends Ephraim down. One of the other sons of Joseph. Ephraim down to Egypt to get the paperwork to prove it. In the meantime, there's a fellow called Chosen, and that's the son of Dan. He's deaf and dumb, and he's in part of the funeral arrangement with Jacob. And although he doesn't hear, he can't speak what's going on, and he's deaf, so he doesn't hear, but he sees this turmoil going on. And another brother's trying to say that, no, they're not going to let him in. And he goes over and chops Esau's head off, slices his head, and his head rolls into the cave of Machpelah. And the cave of Machpelah is still there to this day. It's a tourist place. And the building on top of the cave is the oldest structure, man-made structure, housing structure known to man. And you go down in the cave. I've never been. I'd love to go. But you go down there and you could see the cave of some of the patriarchs, the cave of the patriarchs, the cave of the double tombs. Anyway, so that's a little history lesson, a little insight into the lame. And I have Saul telling the story. And at the end of him telling the story, he goes, to start this nation of ours, the nation of Israel, it took the deaf and the dumb, the blind and the lame. Well, thank you for listening. I hope this was entertaining and enjoyable, and I hope you'll go further and get Gideon the sound and the glory and enjoy the work and know that there is a God in Israel. God bless, shalom, and stay safe.